Yeah, hello, I'm Arnie Boyer. I'm with the 9th Reenactment Society. We're here portraying the 9th SS Panzer Division, also known by the name of Hohenstaufen. The vehicle you see before you is a reproduction of a Sturmgeschütz III G. Sturmgeschütz is German for assault gun. Like I said, this is a reproduction. This was actually built by HBO for the series Band of Brothers. It also was in a couple of other films, the most known of which would be Mr. Bean's Summer Holiday. This vehicle was built on the chassis of a British armored personnel carrier, actually an FV-432 for those technically interested. But the body of the armored personnel carrier was removed, and a fake superstructure was built over top of it. Original German vehicles armored vehicles are very rare. Most of them belong to museums and wealthy collectors, and they're not really, they don't really like to have them out on for living history events or battle reenactments. So Germans are usually stuck with reproduction vehicles for the most part. The Sturmgeschütz has an interesting history. Germany introduced them, I think, in 1939. They were originally supposed to be infantry support vehicles. As you know, you have panzer divisions, which are mechanized, but 75% of the German army, rather, was infantry and all foot mobile with only very few support trucks. So they wanted the infantry divisions to have some armor support. So they came up with something like this. It was cheaper than a tank to produce. This would have been on a Panzer III tank chassis, but it would have no turret. It would have the same chassis as a Panzer III tank, but it could be produced faster because it doesn't have a turret mechanism. And the idea was every infantry division would have a battalion of these for support, for like attacking bunkers. It originally had a low velocity 75mm gun. The gun would have only been about this long, same caliber, but a low velocity round. That's all that was needed for firing at soft targets. As the war progressed, the Germans could not keep up production to supply even the panzer divisions and the infantry divisions with all the vehicles they needed. So these were kept in independent battalions and usually divvied out to the infantry divisions at the corps level as needed. And eventually these found their ways into the panzer divisions also. And the later models had a long barrel 75, which you see here, higher velocity gun. It could be used in the anti-tank role. And towards later in the war, from 1942 on, most of the time these vehicles were used in the anti-tank role. They had a lower silhouette than a Panzer. They could hide in ambush positions. They actually destroyed more tanks than the Tiger or any other type of German armored fighting vehicle. And the STuG III was actually the most produced German armored fighting vehicle of the war. It was the most produced Panzer was the Mark IV, but more STuG IIIs were produced than any other armored fighting vehicle.